And you're in the CNN newsroom. Word into the CNN newsroom just moments ago that as many as 6 people were killed in a schoolhouse shooting in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, just outside of Philadelphia. Live pictures now from our affiliate there. As you can see, investigators on the ground. They're combing the site there. But what we're told is that about 10:45 at 11 o'clock this morning Eastern Time, a gunman walked into a one-room school there, made some demands, and then ended up shooting a number of people, among them children. Late word from a spokesman at the Lancaster General Hospital. She is confirming that 3 pediatric patients have been taken there, ranging in ages from 6 to 15 years old. One of them is reported in critical condition. And she is also saying that 2 of these children are being sent to Hershey Medical Center to be treated by specialists there, and also to Children's Hospital in Philadelphia. Again, a gunman burst into a school in a normally quiet Amish community in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, and according to the Associated Press and to police, killing at least 6 people. Earlier, it was reported that the gunman may have been among the dead. Right now, police are telling us they're not so sure about that.
Great. Continue to follow these live pictures from a number of our affiliates out of Pennsylvania. These coming to us from WBAL. And just to bring you, we're obviously getting information through the wire services, through the local stations there, also through the local newspapers. Something crossing the wires right now from one of the local papers, Lancaster New Era, reporting multiple victims, most of them likely Amish girls, were the ones that were shot this morning in this small schoolhouse in this rural county of Lancaster. Some reports saying as many as 10 people possibly have been killed. According to this newspaper, a witness said that a man pulled a pickup truck outside the Part Township School on White Oak Road this morning. He ran into this yellow one-room school building filled with, it could have been 20 to 30 children that were doing their lessons. The teacher and some visitors fled, according to witnesses, and ran to a nearby farm for help. The man then ordered all the boys out of the school. This is according to witnesses that have talked to this newspaper. And then standing outside the school, apparently, according to witnesses, state troopers shouted at the gunman, "Roy, put the gun down, Roy." This is according to one of the witnesses. The man then started shooting, and the troopers fired at him while shouting for the children to get down onto the floor. The shooter then killed himself, according to sources that have talked to this newspaper. Mike Brooks on the phone with us right now, one of our law enforcement experts. Mike, I guess, first of all, I've got a number of questions for you, but you've obviously been watching this coverage and watching what has happened in this community. What are your initial thoughts, questions?
Well, Kira, I spoke with some law enforcement sources up in Pennsylvania, and they were told me first I heard 3 fatalities, then 4, then 6 from them, and a total of 10 shot. And you know, there's a lot of questions, you know, about this, you know. But apparently the man did walk in, he ordered some of the children out, then opened fire, then he killed himself. You know, we also saw the Maryland State Police helicopter there leaving the scene, helping out, since it's actually just over the line from Maryland. And you know, but what is the motive behind this? Was someone in a pickup truck? Was this someone in the Amish community? A lot of questions remain unanswered. But it's believed that the gunman did kill himself. Because I can tell you, if they thought that there was a gunman on the loose, you wouldn't see people just standing around like this, and you wouldn't see firefighters canvassing the rest of that scene around there if they thought that there was a gunman still out on the loose.
Right, and some initial reports are saying that they're out there searching around the school for victims who might be hiding in nearby fields, because if it went down, as we're reading some of these reports, if it went down this way where a lot of the kids, specifically the boys, were told to leave the schoolhouse, and then troopers had one-on-one conversation with the shooter, even referring to him by the name Roy. There could be a number of kids that are out here that could be wounded and could still be hiding, fearing for their lives, not knowing what has happened.
There could very well be, Kira, and you know, they're also out there looking for anything at all of any evidentiary value, because they don't know if this guy was hanging around there before. But it's just basically a good canvas of the crime scene to make sure that they don't miss anything at all.
And there was, we talked with a local businessman there who had been talking with his daughters that apparently were able to make contact with some of the people that were at this school and saying that the gunman was not a student at the school. It was an older gentleman. And if the testimony plays out right that we're reading in some of the local papers there, that authorities were familiar with who this man was, they at least knew his first name, and tried to get him to put the gun down.
That could very well be, and you know what we're seeing right now. It looks like they found something of interest. At least it looks like that because they're photographing it out in the field, which I find very interesting. You see the two firefighters and looks like two law enforcement officers there. One with a camera. He looks probably an evidence person, taking a picture of something they found in the field, which I find very interesting also.
So, all right, this could have been a planned situation. This could have been whoever this gunman was. It could have been a last-minute snap decision to do this. But if they are actually moving out into this field, knowing to move out in the field, someone must have told them something. Could it be something left behind by the gunman? I mean, what were the possibilities?
It could very well be. I mean, there's a lot of questions to be asked. You know, when was this gunman? Was he acting alone? Where did he come from? You know, what is his background? What is the actual motive for this? There's still a lot of questions, and investigators will conduct interviews of everyone in that community. You know, as we were talking about earlier, you know, this community is fairly insular, Kira, and when there are problems in the community, they usually tend to take care of it themselves. You know, what brought this gunman to come to this school here today to shoot these people? That is going to be the main question that the Pennsylvania State Police are going to ask these witnesses. You know, what did they see? What did they hear? And did they know this person? Had they seen this person ever before?
Now, in your experience in law enforcement, have you ever dealt with the Amish community?
I have not dealt with the Amish community directly. We used to deal with some of the Amish community when they would come through Washington, D.C., but usually we'd never had any problems. There's in fact, some of these small communities, Kira, they don't even have police departments. It's you know, sometimes the counties will contract, the cities will contract out with the Pennsylvania State Police to do the patrol in these areas, and you know, because there's hardly any crime at all. And that's why, you know, that some of these little communities don't even have their own police departments, and that's why the Pennsylvania State Police are the main law enforcement agency in most of these communities.
Mike, appreciate it. We'll continue to talk more as we follow all the developments and the new information that we get in with regard to this shooting that happened at a small Amish school in Bart Township.
And once again, we are following breaking news happening in Pennsylvania, a shooting at an Amish school. Our live coverage continues.
Plus, the top man in the House on the hot seat as Republicans try to get in front of the Mark Foley scandal. Speaker Dennis Hastert plans to speak this hour. We're going to bring you his comments live from Capitol Hill right here from the CNN Newsroom.
Stock Market Update. Brought to you by John Hancock. The future is yours.
I've always wanted a farm, like my grandparents used to have, with a stable, you know, for the horses. A place where everyone can get together. Kids, grandkids, all my cousins, the whole family. And then pass it on to all the generations that come after me.
You once made a promise to yourself about your future. At John Hancock, we have the products you need to help build, protect, and sustain the future you've always wanted. John Hancock, the future is yours.
For each of us, there's a moment of discovery. We see that all of life is elemental. And as we marvel at element bonding with element, we soon realize that when you add the human element to the equation, the chemistry changes. We find a way of seeing that gives us a way of touching. Issues, ambitions, lives. The human element. Nothing is more fundamental. Nothing more elemental.
To increase skin's radiance, dermatologists recognize Aveeno Positively Radiant Moisturizers. The soy complex is clinically proven to improve the key elements of radiance, including fine lines, sunspots, and blotchiness.
Can your moisturizer do that?
Aveeno Positively Radiant.
Attention Medicare recipients. Do recent changes in Medicare benefits have you confused? Do you know that Medicare may cover a significant portion of certain respiratory medications? Medfort Home offers low-cost inhalers, portable nebulizers, and breathing medications delivered right to your door. Best of all, we navigate the Medicare paperwork for you. If you need respiratory medications, call us now at 1-800-306-8835. Our experts are only a free phone call away.
When you're constipated, the laxative you use can cause cramps. And cramps can give you a bad day. Next time, take Philips Caplets. They don't have harsh stimulants, so you get gentle relief without cramps. Relief feels better with Philips Caplets.
Honey, look! Dolphins! Wow, I can't believe it!
There's a better way to phone for less.
Sweet bondage!
Unlimited local and long distance calling is $24.99 a month. That's a savings of up to 50%.
Honey, the dolphins! Come on, let's go play!
Vanish, one smart decision among many, many stupid ones. Call 1-800-971-4586.
CNN Tonight, AC360's Emmy Award-winning team of journalists, Anderson Cooper, Dr. Sanjay Gupta, and Jeff Koinange, take you live to Africa for reports from a continent under siege. AC360, CNN Tonight, 10 Eastern.
Breaking news, revealing developments. See for yourself in the CNN Newsroom.
And breaking news into the CNN newsroom from Amish country in Pennsylvania. 6 people, according to the Associated Press, have been killed in a school shooting at an Amish school, a one-room Amish school. Now, according to initial police reports, a gunman walked into the school about 10:45, 11 o'clock this morning, made some demands, and according to a newspaper there, the gunman, who they are calling Roy and who police called Roy, ordered all of the young girls out of the school, out of class, and then proceeded to take them hostage. Now, it said he ran into a simple one-room building filled with plain children doing their lessons. This is according to the newspaper who's on the ground there. The teacher and some visitors fled and ran into a nearby farm. We did hear that from one of the business people who live in a nearby area earlier here on CNN. The man then ordered all the boys out of the school. Standing outside the school, state police troopers shouted, "Roy, put the gun down, Roy." That's according to a witness. And then the man started shooting at the troopers, and then the troopers fired at him while shouting for the children to get down on the floor. And according to this report, the shooter then killed himself, but then we're also hearing through other sources that not so sure that the shooter is killed. But then our security expert, Mike Brooks, said if this person was still holding people hostage or still on the loose, we would see a lot more activity from law enforcement there on the ground. You're looking at live pictures from our Pennsylvania affiliates, 2 affiliates there, WTXF and also WPVI in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. This is law enforcement on the ground. 6 people apparently killed from a shooting, Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, in Amish country.
Another top story that we're following is one scandal, 3 investigations. The FBI, the House of Representatives, and Florida law enforcement are all investigating former Congressman Mark Foley, Republican of Florida. As you may know, Foley resigned on Friday amid allegations that he sent sexually explicit emails to teenage congressional pages. Foley's lawyer confirms to CNN that Foley has checked himself into rehab and alcoholism. A rehab for alcoholism and what he calls emotional difficulties. Foley says that he accepts full responsibility for, quote, the harm that I have caused. Now, the top man in the House on the hot seat as Republicans try to get in front of the Mark Foley scandal. Speaker Dennis Hastert plans to speak this hour. We're going to bring you his comments live from Capitol Hill right here from the CNN newsroom.
All right. Joining me on the phone now, we're talking about folks who were there on the scene or at least in the area. And we've been watching these pictures come in. Let's take a live look at these pictures. We've been watching these pictures come in from Pennsylvania of law enforcement on the ground. They're combing the grounds in the farm country here in the area, talking about the background of this Mennonite community in Pennsylvania. On the phone now, someone, I imagine Mr. Graybill, Donald Graybill, who's a PhD in sociology from Temple University. Temple University, of course, located in Philadelphia, not far, about 55 miles away from where this tragedy happened. Much interaction with the Amish people in this community?
Yes, I actually live in Lancaster County. I'm with Elizabethtown College, and my major area of research is the Amish communities of North America. I'm very familiar with them. Very familiar.
This is out of character, I would imagine.
Well, yes. The Amish schools typically are very safe schools. They're out in rural areas. They typically are one-room facilities operated by Amish parents, and so there usually are not any security concerns or security risk in the schools, and so this is quite a shock.
Quite a shock. What do you, and I know that you're not there and you can't get into, you know, someone's mind, but the mindset of someone who would possibly do this is not characteristic of someone who, especially a male in this community. Usually the men in this community have much respect for the women, especially the children.
Well, we don't know if this is an Amish person.
Right.
My impression is this may be a non-Amish person. The Amish do not live in cultural reservations. They are living interspersed in the English population. So it's very possible this is an outside person that just targeted the school for some reason.
Mm-hmm. And coming in, the children, as you said, they don't, I guess they don't really live in a bubble, but they do sort of segregate themselves. I imagine to anyone this would be a shock, but the children, for someone to come into their school unknown, quite
right.
a shock to them.
Well, the schools are typically very safe, secure places. There typically is one female teacher. Sometimes there's a second teacher's aide that works with the teacher who's responsible for all 8 grades. And these are quiet, gentle settings, and so this would be a tremendous shock to the children because they wouldn't have been exposed to this kind of thing on television. It would be a tremendous shock to them.
Give us a background on this. You being an expert, you see the clothes hanging on the line there, obviously. No dryers, no electricity. You've seen the buggies, you've seen the men in hats. Give us some background on this community.
Well, the Amish are a German-oriented community. They speak Pennsylvania German, Pennsylvania Dutch. They are located in 27 states in North America. There are about 200,000 of them, including adults and children. In Lancaster County, there are about 30,000. The larger population in Lancaster is about 450,000, so they're a small minority in Lancaster County. And then there are another 30,000 in other counties of Pennsylvania.
How do they tend to get along with the secular community? Do they both get along well, both living in the same community among each other?
They're usually very friendly with their English neighbors. There's a lot of neighborly interaction. There's a lot of cooperation on some civic projects like benefit auctions for local volunteer fire companies. So generally the relationships are very amiable and pleasant with their English neighbors.
You know, I haven't lived there in just for a few years now. How far is Elizabethtown from this community?
Elizabethtown's about 25 miles west of this particular school.
So you are really close to this?
I am, and I know, I mean, I do a lot of research out in this area, and so I know a lot of Amish families, and I have a lot of assistants that work out in this area.
Mm-hmm. We're talking about the schools there. This was obviously a one-room school, which probably can't hold much more than 30 kids. How many of these schools can we find in this community? I would imagine that, you know, they don't go to the larger schools, so there are probably a number of schools that are identical, similar, if not identical to this one.
We have about 150 similar schools like this in the Lancaster County area. The children go through grades 1 to 8, and then they terminate their education. There was a Supreme Court decision in 1972, Wisconsin versus Yoder, which said that Amish children can terminate their schooling at the end of age 14. So they are in a one-room, basic education-oriented classroom like this, and then they go back to working in small shops or on the farm or in their homes with their parents.
Mm-hmm. We were talking about that earlier, and again, having lived in Philadelphia, you would see, mostly on the weekends, but even during the week, that the folks would come in from Amish country and go to Reading Market and sell their wares, things that they had grown on their farm or either had made during the week. Typical of the Amish community?
Yes, it's very typical. Many of them are farmers. About 40% of the adults are farming. The other 60% are in a variety of small businesses. And one of the more popular small businesses is markets in urban areas. They go into Baltimore, Annapolis, Philadelphia, Dover, Delaware, and so on, and have a lot of farmers markets where they sell produce and bread and a variety of products that they make.
Yeah, and I imagine because they keep themselves separate, security, especially for their children, very important in this community. So this is really someone who has breached the security that they have for their families and their children.
Yes, it's very tragic and certainly a surprise to the families, and I'm sure it will raise a great deal of alarm with the other schools, the other 149 schools in the area, in terms of what can they do to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen again.
All right, Mr. Grable, anything that I did not, any information I didn't get from you?
No, I think you covered it well.
All right. Dr. Donald Grable, a sociology expert, someone who deals very closely with the Amish community, offering his expert advice, his expertise. Thank you very much. And just in case you're joining us, we want to update you. At least 10 people have been shot, 6 people killed in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, which is about 55 miles, I believe, west of Philadelphia. You can see all of the emergency people there, including news crews on the ground. This happened about 10:45, 11 o'clock this morning. We have several children who are in the hospital, at least one, possibly two, who are in critical condition. Were flown by helicopter to Hershey Medical Center, first taken to Lancaster General Hospital, and then several of them were taken to Hershey Medical Center, and then also to Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. And Children's Hospital in Philadelphia is a place where you go for children, usually where you want to get the best of care for a child. It certainly offers the best in medical care in that area. So again, that's the latest. Amish country, a normally bucolic place, rocked this morning by a shooting, a gunman who shot at least 10 people and killed 6.
In addition to that story that continues to break out of Pennsylvania, we're also talking about another top story, and that involves Congressman Mark Foley, former Congressman Mark Foley, checking out of office, checking into rehab. The ex-congressman now getting treatment for alcoholism and more. It's the latest in the explosive scandal over sexually charged messages that Foley allegedly sent to teenage boys. Speaker Dennis Hastert plans to speak this hour. We'll bring that to you live as soon as he steps up to the podium to make his comments. It'll be live from Capitol Hill. We'll bring it to you here from the CNN newsroom. Now, CNN national correspondent Susan Candiotti has the latest from West Palm Beach and Foley's home state of Florida.
Mark Foley's lawyer, David Roth, tells CNN that the ex-congressman has written a letter to his constituents trying to explain what happened, and in part, the letter says that events that led to his resignation crystallized long-standing, significant alcohol and emotional problems. Now, it is not clear from the letter whether the ex-congressman is blaming his alleged misconduct on alcohol abuse, but Foley does say this, quote, "I strongly believe that I am an alcoholic and have accepted the need for immediate treatment for alcoholism and related behavioral problems." He goes on to say, quote, "I deeply regret and accept full responsibility for the harm I have caused," and goes on to thank his supporters for their prayers. Now, Florida Governor Jeb Bush has already initiated his own investigation into the possible criminal misconduct. He has ordered the Florida Department of Law Enforcement and specifically its cyber crime unit to look into whether any of these emails that were allegedly sent by the ex-congressman originated in the state of Florida. It is not clear where that investigation will lead, but the FBI is the lead on it. Susan Candiotti, CNN, West Palm Beach, Florida.
And the top man in the House on the hot seat as Republicans try to get in front of the Mark Foley scandal. Speaker Dennis Hastert plans to speak this hour. We're going to bring you his comments live from Capitol Hill right here from the CNN newsroom.
Also live from the newsroom, we're expecting a news conference from that shooting very shortly from the state police from the shooting that's happening in Amish country. You're looking at live pictures there of reporters getting ready, police officers and investigators in the background getting their information together to talk about the school shooting that injured at least 10 and killed 6 this morning in Pennsylvania. You're live in the CNN newsroom.
I'm Carlos, and this is my story. We're in a senior league out on Long Island, and we play about 65, 70 games a year. Oh, I can hear my wife when she's at the game. She's always yelling, "Get ahead. Don't let them walk you." We all suffer from aches and pains. I have arthritis in my wrists and my hands and my knees and my back. Other ball players have been using Aleve, and they told me about it, so I tried it, and it works. Aleve is just great. It keeps us going. I'm going to keep playing as long as I can. They have to bury me out there at second base.
Larry King tonight. Bob Woodward on the bombshell book that's rocked the country. Is the White House in denial on Iraq? Larry King tonight, 9 Eastern, only on CNN.
This October on DirecTV, Prepare for the supernatural. The revolution has begun.
So this DirecTV superfan Tchotchke lets you watch an entire game in 30 minutes? There's no shortcuts in football, Buttercup. Football is hard work. And groin pulls.
Every play in 30 minutes. Shortcuts from Superfan, only on DirecTV.
The game is on. I'm talking college football on ESPN Game Plan from DirecTV. The best teams, the toughest conferences, plus up to 15 games every Saturday. ESPN Game Plan on DirecTV. How's your team gonna stack up?
Why did your last diet fail?
If you're over 30, overstressed, and overweight, take a look in the mirror. You've got excess body fat around your waist, hips, and belly, right? Well, diet failure is not your fault. The problem is cortisol, a nasty little stress hormone that traps excess fat around the middle. But now there's Relicor. Relicor helps control cortisol and helps us lose stubborn belly fat fast. So if you're dieting and still plagued by unsightly belly bulge, there's only one Relicor. Relicor helps you get thinner, look younger, and have energy to burn. Remember, when you're over 30, overstressed, and want to get rid of stubborn belly fat, the answer is Relicor. Order Relicor now. It's easy. You'll love it.
Order Relicor risk-free. Have your credit card ready. Call 1-800-910-1402. That's 1-800-910-1402. Call now. Relicor is guaranteed.
Don't wait an hour for morning news. 6 a.m. CNN American Morning tomorrow.
Developing news, a very disturbing story coming out of Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, 55 miles outside of Philadelphia in the Amish community. A shooting there with at least 10 people shot, 6 people, according to the coroner, dead. Several of those injured were taken to a hospital there in Pennsylvania, and they're believed to be children. Some of the children taken to a hospital and then, of course, had to be helicoptered to be treated specially to other hospitals in the area. But we're told at about 10:45, 11 o'clock this morning, a gunman burst into this small school in an Amish community and then made some demands, made all of the boys leave. And this is according to a witness report and also to a newspaper there in Lancaster County, Pennsylvania. Multiple victims, most of them likely Amish girls, were shot this morning at a schoolhouse in rural Lancaster County. As many as 10 people were shot. A witness said a man pulled up in a pickup truck outside of Bart Township School on White Oak Road. That was late this morning. He ran into the simple yellow one-room building, and I'm reading much of this from the newspaper here. And the school was filled with plain children doing their lessons. And then the teacher and some visitors fled and ran to a nearby farm for help, ran out into the field. Let's talk to Aaron Meyer, who has information about the shooter. Aaron, what can you tell us?
Well, from what I understand, I have 2 daughters in that have called me about this. And there was, in this area, of course, Amish people don't use vehicles. And if they want to go a long distance, they'll hire someone to take them. Well, a 70-year-old man, and this is the way I have this, a 70-year-old man who was an Amish taxi driver had a falling out or an argument with several of the mothers. And he went to the school this morning and told all the boys to leave and lined the girls up against the wall and shot them all.
Oh. And now we want to, and you
are. We have this from the ambulance driver.
And now before you finish that, we want to say Aaron Meyer owns a business in that area, and this is not confirmed, but this is according to people that you know on the scene. So police officers, investigators, officials have not confirmed this, but what you're hearing from people is that a 70-year-old man, you said, who had had a falling out with one of the mothers there, a taxi driver, apparently lost it.
Yes.
And ran into the school and then made these demands, especially of the girls, all the guys to leave and of the girls. And we're hearing that he possibly shot the girls who were lined up.
Yes.
And this is coming from where?
It's coming from one of my daughters who talked with one of the ambulance drivers.
Okay. So again, this is coming from someone who was on the scene. Don't want to say it's hearsay, but it's witness from a witness who heard it from another witness. So again,
Right,
CNN is not confirming that, but we have you live on the air with that information. We will definitely work on trying to get that confirmed, that part of the story confirmed. But again, Mr. Meyer has owned a business and has lived in this area, you told me, I think, for 25 years. So you do know folks there on the ground. I would imagine that some of the information you're getting us, there is some truth to some of it.
Yes.
But again, we cannot confirm it. So
my daughter and my other daughter's husband's mother.
Okay.
So I think it's pretty accurate.
So, say again?
It would be from one of my daughters, from my other daughter's husband's mother.
Mm-hmm.
It's round the grapevine, but.
Yeah, but are you saying your daughter's husband works as an emergency worker or a police officer in the area?
Right.
Okay.
Went with the ambulance.
With the ambulance. He works with the ambulance. And again, investigators are also trying to confirm the same information, I'm being told, because they're hearing this as well. So.
And there were five helicopters called and 12 ambulances.
5 helicopters and 12 ambulances. Now, I did hear that earlier about the number of emergency apparatus that was sent out there. So the reaction from, you know, people who are close to the situation, the reaction from people from this situation, Mr. Meyer?
Well, people are horrified. You know, I'm at my business, which is a carriage ride, an Amish carriage ride, not far from where the schoolhouse is. And there are a lot of folks here today from the outside, and they're all talking about it. They've all heard about it, and they're all sad and upset, and
yeah,
we are also.
Now, Mr. Meyer, again, I want to warn you about the wind. If you can somehow turn so that you're live on television and we're
I am outside.
Yeah, I understand that. So, again, this is coming from someone in your family who works with the ambulance company, as we're looking at ambulances right there, and also investigators combing the fields. You were saying that earlier, according to your daughters, that the teacher was standing in front of the class doing daily lessons as usual.
That's correct.
And when this happened, a lot of the children, I would imagine these are the boys who were told to leave, who you said earlier ran out into the field.
That's how the children happened to get out.